Good day, students. Welcome to our online class for today. I am excited to have you all here and to be your teacher for today's session. I am Teacher Victor and I will guide you through this class today. So before we start, am I audible? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, that's good. So our lesson for today is addition of integers. Okay, so from the previous lesson, we learned about integers, the negative and positive numbers, the zero, above the number line, and its representation. So today we will proceed to the addition of integers. Okay, so adding integers. Can you, before we start, can you see my screen? So can you see the PowerPoint presentation? Is it readable? Okay, that's good. So first, the vocabulary, the additive inverses. So from the previous lesson, we already tackled additive inverse. So additive inverses are two numbers with a sum of zero. For example, 23 and negative 23 are additive inverses because 23 plus negative 23 is zero. So in short, if we are adding a number and its opposite, and we added it together, the answer or the sum will be zero. Is that understood? Okay. Here, for example, when you add two opposites, their sum is always zero. So the opposites are called additive inverses when you're adding them together. For example, we have here 1 plus negative 1, so that would be 0 because the opposite of 1 is negative 1. So if we added 1 and negative 1, it will be 0. And it is also the same for negative 1 and 1. So the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So if we added them together, it will also be 0. Do you understand? Okay, so if you have any questions, I encourage you to ask them during our session, okay? So number lines. Number lines are an excellent way to add positive and negative numbers that are not opposites, okay? So this is the number line. Word problem. So to make use of the number line that I have shown earlier, so we will solve a word problem. So first, can you read the problem, student number one? Okay, very good. So here it says that a football team loses 8 yards. The next play they gain 3 yards. So what is the yardage for the team's first to place? So from the previous lesson, we have learned the keywords for positive integers and negative integers. So one of them is loses. So loses indicates a negative integer, and gain. So loses indicated a negative integer, and gain indicates a positive integer. So the first play, we have negative 8 yards because we lose us 8 yards. So here it is. And for the second play, or the next play, they gain 3 yards. So that would be positive 3. Do you understand? Is it clear? Okay. So how do we represent this in a number line? Ayan. So when we are representing negative integers, we will always start at 0 or at the middle of the number line. So steps start at 0. To represent negative 8, move to the 8 to the left 8 places. So here. So after moving 8 places to the left of 0, we will land at negative 8 in the number line. As you can see here. Okay, so it will land on negative 8. So to add positive 3, move to the right 3 places from where we landed. So it's negative 8. So we will move negative 8 to the right 3 times. So that would be, so it will land on negative 5. Okay, so what does it mean? So when we landed on negative 5, it means that Negative 8 plus 3 is equals to negative 5. So the result of the first two plays is a loss of 5 yards from the starting point. Do you understand? You have any questions? Okay, so yes, negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. It is also the same for positive 3 plus negative 8. So that will also be result on negative 5. So it will always, it is also will be a loss of 5 yards. Do you understand? Okay. Addition rules. So to add two numbers with the same sign, add the numbers together. Okay, so the answer will have the same sign as the numbers. So for example, when we add uh, two positive numbers, so we will just add the numbers. So for example, here it's 3 plus 5 equals 8. So we will also copy the signs of the two numbers. So since 3 and 5 are both positive, so the answer will also be positive. So 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. It will be positive 8. It is the same for negative 3 plus negative 5. So again, they have the same sign. Okay, so that would be negative 8 because negative 3 plus negative 5 is negative 8. So we will just add the numbers and we will copy the sign. So that's it. Okay, so to add two numbers with different signs, take the bigger digit and subtract the other digit. Your answer will have the same sign as the bigger. Okay, for example here, we will add negative 3 plus 5. So, can I ask what's larger, 5 or 3? Okay, very good, student number 2. So 5 is larger than 3. So again, the rule is we will take the bigger digit and then we will subtract the other digit. So that would be 5 minus 3. So the answer will be positive 2. We will just copy the sign of the larger digit. Another example is 3 plus negative 5. Again, 5 is the larger number. So we will just subtract 5 minus 3. So that's 2. But since negative 5 is the larger number or the larger digit, so we will copy the negative sign. So the answer is negative 2. So some these are some of the rules or the signs rules of addition. Okay. Okay. So examples. Can you type in the chat, student number 4, the answer for these four examples? Okay, it's correct. That's correct. Negative 1 plus 4 is positive 3. Okay, for number 2. Okay, that's good. The answer is positive 4. Very good. Number 3. Okay, also very good. That's negative 4 because we will add two signs. Two numbers with with the same signs. And lastly, for number 4, that's very good. That's negative 3. Okay, so that will conclude our lesson for today for addition of subtraction. For the next session, we will use another example. We will answer another examples, more advanced examples for addition of integers. So, do you have any questions? Are you sure? Okay, so that would be all. Thank you for listening and thank you for participating for today's session. I hope you learned a lot. And again, I am Teacher Victor, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.